We on? So I don't know what I'm doing. So let's get into the video. That wasn't supposed to happen. But okay. I was supposed to say introduction first. So those of you who know me or don't know me, my name is JJ Worrell. I am a 23-year-old third year medical student at the University of Pretoria. Yay! No one really says that. Yeah, I was born and raised in Swaziland. Well, formerly known Swaziland. Now it's called Eswatini. Yes, Eswatini. Okay. And I'm here to give a video on my. What am I giving a video on again? Oh yes, me losing weight. Coupled with my 88-day challenge. So I'll try split it into like I'll talk about the losing weight, and then I'll specify like the 88-day challenge and what went about with that, and what. Okay, let's get back into it. What went into that and how exactly we got there. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. There should be an effect. Never mind. Okay, so I was born on the 1st of May, 1997, in a place called Mbabane or Mbabane. That's where I was born. I was born in the government hospital there. Are we going to deal with my name? Let's deal with my name. So obviously I did say my name is JJ, and a lot of people think, is it short for something? Is it? No. So basically before 97, Swaziland didn't really have Workers' Day, because the 1st of May is Workers' Day. And we didn't really celebrate it until there were two guys that marched for it, I think. I don't know. I forget the story. I mean, I kind of was being born, so you can forgive me if I don't know the details. Yeah, so what happened was they were marching for it, and then their names start with, each of their names start with J. So the two people leading the march, and so consequently my parents had zero creativity whatsoever and decided to name me JJ. I do have a second name that I chose myself. Don't ask. We'll get to that in another video if we ever make another one. I doubt. My editing skills are bad, and this is probably the last video I'm making. But yeah, we go on. Also this lighting is terrible, but it's like a great place to sit. It's like, yeah. Anyways, so we go on. Yeah. So all my life I have been an overweight child. Not like morbidly obese, not like when Drake says, girls so thick that everyone feels so uncomfortable. I'll insert the lyrics somewhere. If I don't know, I did a bad job with editing. Yeah, so I wasn't that big. I was just overweight, and I was like always like the biggest kid in class and all that. So primary, high school, that's basically what it was. That was me. Well, there were points in time where my weight fluctuated, but more or less I was always overweight. If I was back to normal weight, it would be for like a brief period and then back again. And I think if I were to attribute it to anything, it would be I had issues with impulse control. So like if I enjoyed food, I just eat, And then one thing I particularly enjoy is bread. Oh boy, dive in. I see on Twitter, sometimes they talk about how many slices of bread you eat blah 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 blah, and I see people say 8 slices, and how can you eat 8 slices? I'm like, how can you only eat 8 slices? It was bad. I promise you, it was bad. So yeah, so primary school was like that. High school, it was like that. Yeah, it was. Don't mind me looking up. Or looking to the side. Yeah, it was like, yeah. So primary school, yeah. High school, it also was bad. And yeah, so I think my issues were further compounded with the fact that I would stress eat, or like, as I would eat like for comfort food, you know? So I would like, anytime things were going bad in my life, I would just like go towards eating, and this would comfort me. And this would be the course of action I took for a very, very long time, which obviously was not a good idea, but here we are. So, okay, so yeah, however, it wasn't always like my weight would increase because I would play sport, and that would help. So like when I was 13, I think I started to play basketball socially. They were like, where I stay, Manzini had a couple of courts, not too many, like 2 or 3 courts. Two that were really for the two that were really for the public. And I'd go and I'd play because it was basketball was like really cool, even though like where I'm from, or for those of you who are not African watching this, I Swaziland is a country within Africa. Africa is not a country. I'm sorry. I just I just had to say that. Anyways, let's continue. So soccer is a big thing. In most African, bigger than every sport. In most African countries. So yeah, that's what people do, and I didn't do that. But I had older brothers that played basketball, and I thought basketball was like really cool. And I think this is also there was a point back when DSTV still had ESPN, and like you saw Kobe Bryant, and oh, this man was amazing, and all this and all this and all this, and this was like back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. That is when the Lakers won. It was Kobe and Powell, if I'm not mistaken. That's also how I started supporting the Lakers, but that's another conversation. So yeah, 2010. I was 13. I started playing basketball, but like not serious. And then so the high school I went to, I went to 3 high schools. No, not anything bad. Just went to 3 high schools. So the first one I went to was like out. It was like in another town. It was like a 30-minute drive, so it's not too bad. So for some of you, you won't understand like what's a 30-minute drive. Well, when you're in Swaziland, 30-minute drive is a long thing, because I mean, some people not from Swaziland, they would think 30-minute drive, oh, just a 30-minute drive. 30-minute drive in Swaziland was a really long thing. So yeah, I went to that school, and they had basketball there, and I did start, but the team never really continued, so it was really bad. It didn't really go on or anything like that. Yeah, so we just played for that one year, and then I moved schools after that year to come to a school closer to home, and the closer to home school I went to wasn't really great in terms of basketball. But I think in my second year there, and then that was when I was in grade 9. Yes, 9. They built a hoop. So what I'd do every morning is I would shoot. So I'd like shoot every morning, shoot, 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 shoot. So I'd shoot every morning, and yeah, so I'd enjoy that. So that's one thing I'd look forward to every day, and I'd do that. Didn't really have a great team, didn't really have a coach, none of that happened. Okay, so just for you to understand, the educational system I went through was I went through 4 years of IGCSE. IGCSE stands for International General Certificate of Senior Education. I think so. So that was 4 years. So I went through that 4 years, and so basically I didn't really play basketball there. I played socially, and I played for a club, but like I wasn't like a great player, but the club helped kind of develop me. But I wasn't like very what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent. Like all men, not consistent at all. I wasn't very consistent. So yeah, so move on from that, from playing there, and then we move on to my third high school, which was St. Mark's, a school that was 30 minutes away again. So I ran away from 30-minute driving just to go back to it. But the difference is, the school had A levels, and A levels is what's it's A levels is advanced level, right? So it's a school leaving degree. So like how South African people say you have IB or matric, and then like A levels is used in a lot of countries, but I think it originated in the UK if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so in those countries, and yeah, so I did that, and A level was 2 years, and for those 2 years, I actually started properly playing basketball, and I had a proper coach, and someone took me through the fundamentals and taught me various skills of the game. So I did become much better in terms of basketball, and obviously those years that I did back in my previous high school I went to, the shooting really helped because I was a decent shooter.
What?
Oh, that improved my ability to shoot, and I did that for about 2 years, and I finished A levels, and I went on to, well, I planned to go to university, but a couple of things didn't work out the way I'd wanted to, and I took a gap year. Dum dum dum. Gap year. I spent my time working with my parents, my family, I guess. Yeah, it was frustrating to say the least for the year, because when you work with the same people you go home to, you tend to have disagreements, and a lot of disagreements, and as those things built up, I wasn't dealing with them well, and the way I would deal with it was food, you know. And yes, I was playing basketball. I did play for the team I had, Manzini Raiders. Shout out to my boys if any of them watching. I did but I was also still eating, so it didn't work out. So my eating bad wasn't counteracted by my exercising, because I wasn't exercising all the time. So it just got bad. And what I kept telling myself was, no, it's okay. I'll just, I'll start next week. I'll start next week. I'll start next week. And next week never happened, because there was either this setback or that, or my inability to commit. Because I think one thing I didn't mention is that during the course of everything I had been doing, I didn't. I would. I'm sorry, not I didn't. I would try to get started on something and really kickstart my getting healthier and getting a better body and all that. But I didn't. It would always, one week I'm consistent, and the next week goes down the drain. I'm like, oh, it's raining, or this, or this, or this. And that became just like a common habit of my life. I could never commit to something and finish it off. So yeah, so this gap year came, and I thought, before the gap year came, I'm like, okay, great, this gap year's here. I'm going to better myself. I'm going to learn how to code. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn that. I'm going to learn that. And all these things never happened. I made these plans for my life, and I could not do them. So the whole year went by, and I ended up gaining massive amounts of weight. I think I was 120 kilograms. I think what helped me is that I'm of average height, so I'm like 6'1", and that it helped me out being 6'1", because like at least the weight kind of distributed, so I didn't look like I was a stump. I'll insert like a picture of a stump somewhere. I didn't look like a stump. Like at least it was sort of proportional, but I was still big, you know. And one thing that happened, especially during this that period, was I began just wearing comfortable clothes, hey, and I only wore like sweatpants because it was just comfortable, and I didn't want to wear anything else because everything else was what's the word for it? Everything else was like jeans were restrictive, and I didn't like wearing chinos, and I mean, I think also because there's African in me. Like I had a booty, like a peach, bro. Like I swear, if I learned how to twerk, Meg would run for her money. But yeah, no, I had a booty, so that also hindered things because like putting on pants, it was like, okay, they can fit through my thighs, but like my booty's like, nah, homie, nah, homie, you got to be shopping in the women's section. So yeah, it was that. So that whole year went by, and then I got acceptance into University of Pretoria. We're not celebrating for that again. No, no, no. It's not a bad school. Obviously it was. It's the interpretation you get beforehand because everyone talks about UCT, Wits, and those of you who are non-South Africans, if there are any of you watching, UCT and Wits, University of Cape Town, University of Witwatersrand in Joburg. Yeah, so obviously those are usually the universities you want to go to, and I went to the University of Pretoria. I was like, okay, that's cute. But little did I know it would turn out to be one of the best decisions of my life. But we're not there yet. We're here, and I am, I think, 120 kilograms. I'm going to my first year of university, and yeah. So here's a picture. All right, so you probably did see that image, and yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, let me put it like this. At the time, I didn't really know how big I was. I think realization really kicked in when in first year. So we went into res. So I was in a res. I was in college. Any of you who know college, shout out to all college men. Great res. No matter what you hear about it, it has a bad rep, but great people. Are great traditions. Great. Currently great traditions, not previously, but we're not going to go into that. Great people that are there. Made friends for life. So when I went there, so you have this week called O week, and that's orientation week, and you come like the weekend before O week starts, and one thing they do is that you have to they give you clothing, right? So our clothing was no, but I don't even think it started there. Actually. So one thing they did is that so the night we got there, we have this thing in we had this thing in Rembrandt Hall, the big hall that they have at University of Pretoria, where like all the res students come, and then it's like an introduction to them and to res life, and yay, it's gonna be the funnest time of your life. Spoiler alert, they lied, but I mean it's not bad. It's just they kind of overstated what it was going to be. Okay, so yeah, so what they made us wear was togas, right? And we've all seen togas. If you don't know what togas, I'll put a picture somewhere. The editing will sort that out. Okay, hopefully I put the picture of the toga. So the way we had our togas was that we were supposed to wear black shorts or underwear, whichever, and then the toga would be revealing, like you would reveal your body, and I was like, what? Are we really like? I'm all for getting into these traditions, getting into this. Like I'm excited for this experience. Like this university is like, oh, let's do this. But I'm like, I'm supposed to go out in public like this, exposing my body that I don't necessarily like. Yeah, this is going to be a fun time. It was off. Now we had to walk down with another female res, and boy, boy, anxiety is like working double time, bro. Like I'm scared. I'm like, which girl wants to walk with me, bro? Like, Jesus, do you see what I look like? And I'm looking at like everyone else that's there, and like these guys are. There was this one guy who was like, man's been in the gym. You like, if you wanted steroids, he'd be. I'm joking, Julian. If you're watching, I'm joking. I know you don't take steroids. Anyways, so yeah. There were a couple of people that had like nice bodies, and other people were just like skinny or like slightly overweight, but like by a little bit, so it didn't really matter. And there I was like sore thumb, buddy, sore fucking thumb. Stuck out, and well, maybe I didn't stick out, but I thought I did in my mind. I mean, so yeah, so my self-esteem was all right, and okay, I'll continue with my story, but I'll like just talk on this thing of self-esteem, which is finally a smart student. I did manage to get into med school, so but one thing that I had is like I was always confident in my mental ability. I always thought that like I understand things easy. I'm able to grasp concepts. Like I'm a decently smart person. And I thought, okay, that's so like if you got to know me, you would like me. But I was always scared of what people's initial thoughts of my physical presence because it's that. And obviously, as you grow older and you aren't social media anymore, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, you notice like how people will show off their great assets like great skin and great teeth, and I don't necessarily have great teeth. Like, so there's like gaps in my teeth. So this is genetic. Like, there's a tooth that just didn't grow. So the dentist told me that that's a genetic thing, and my dad kind of also has that where he does, there's a tooth that's not there. He's just not as prominent as mine. So first of all, like my smile was something I was scared of. I didn't really like smiling. I tried to hide my smile as much as possible. So then those was the issue of my size, and then also like I have like this. I think it's extra skin. I don't know. And then like I don't know what happened here. There's these lines here. But okay, so the skin part that's slightly inconsequential because that's like whatever. But more like my teeth and my weight, and my weight was a big thing for me. So it was something that really scared me, and it dampened my confidence. So on the one side, intellectually, I was really confident, and on the other side, physically, I really wasn't. So there was like a disparity in my overall confidence because of these two things not lining up. So yeah, so back to the story, we walked down with girls, and I didn't know how they received me. So that really made me very anxious, and it led to me overthinking a lot about certain things, and it lead to me not assuming that people like me, and I'm thinking, why would you like me? I look like this and I look like that. And which is funny because like my confidence sometimes just like my mental confidence sometimes just peeked over and it's like, you know what, fuck it, just do it and try. But there was very few occasions. So it was one of those things that led me there. So okay, so that happened. I was in the toga. We had to walk back, and then we had to perform something called in sync, yeah. And then we had to perform that in the toga. And what's worse is that during practices, the people that our house committee, the ones that took care of us as first years, they spotted me as one of the guys that know how to perform the dances even better. I was like, wait, no, whoa. Stop that. Stop it. No. Now you want me to be in front. And now bear in mind, the Roy junkie, I'll tell you that. Okay, he's not a Roy junkie. Julian's there in the front. And I'm there. So you have a man with abs, pecs, biceps and everything. He's there. And I'm there too. And then you're like, the hell? So obviously that was like I don't know if I'm going to do this. And I did it. It was recorded. I think it's on YouTube. I think I'll put the link somewhere. Here? Is that what happens? I don't know how you YouTubers do these things. Here. So I'll put the link somewhere and you guys will see. And you'll see like I was there. I think I also did a trash job because I was a bit scared, but that's whatever. Okay, so we continue on from that. And I think so the one thing also that really hit me during O week is when we got like our first year clothing. First year clothing is basically the clothing that you give to first years for the res, and then ours was like a shirt, and I was happy with the shirt because like a long flowing shirt wasn't restrictive, so it didn't like hold me tight and like show off like I had serious man boobs at the time, Didn't show off my man boobs and didn't show off my stomach. But there was these shorts, right? And so I asked for double XL, and I didn't fit into double XL. Yeah, that was not fun. That was a big realization that, boy, we aren't good here. We aren't good here. So I didn't fit into double XL, and then I remember Murray, our first year guardian, he was like, "Yeah, do you want me to we're also getting another pair for this guy, someone else, and yeah, do you want me to get you a bigger pair?" And I said, "No, no, no, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Um, I'll fit into them." I was like, "Yeah, okay." He's like, "Okay, cool, sweet." I was like, "Yeah, cool." And I was determined to lose weight and everything, and did that happen in first year? No. Not It did not happen. So I didn't lose weight in first year. So you'll have to understand that coming from Swaziland, right? There were things Swaziland didn't have. So Swaziland has like 4 fast food outlets. That's KFC, because KFC's everywhere. We have Nando's. There's this thing called Footies. And what else? We had Debonair's. So that was like 4 things. I get to South Africa and it's like, whoa, we got more. There is McDonald's, trash. But anyways, there is no, 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 guys. I know people are gonna hate me for saying this, but it is trash. The only thing with, like, maybe the chicken stuff's not trash, but everything with beef tastes like cardboard. The fries are okay. Okay, so what else? Yeah, there was Burger King, there was Domino's, there was Pizza Hut, Frosty Bakery. Frosty Bakery. I hate you, lockdown. Okay, yeah, there was the Frosty Bakery too, and there was all these things I hadn't tried before, and I'm like, okay, I have to try these things. And I would, and I'd go out and I'd try this and I'd eat that and eat that and eat that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, let me try. None of that happened, bro. None of that happened. Um, but what I did manage to do is play basketball all this time. So I found a basketball court and I played. I played more in university than I would when I was back home because my parents were very strict, and my mom had irrational fears. But man, yes, I played a lot, but also I was still eating a lot, so that didn't really help because I'm playing but I'm eating, so it doesn't really work out. And and my friends we'd go out quite a bit because I mean, hey, I'm going out. I had strict parents. I didn't get to go out, so why not? I went out quite a bit, and obviously, you're in the university and we're guys, and it's like, hey, let's get girls, and can you get girls? And obviously, I don't mean obviously, like obviously I got the no. That's not what I meant. It was like obviously that's what we did, and when we went out, because of all these years of a lack of self confidence in my ability to do these things, I always doubted whether a girl was into me or not. So when we went out, like it further perpetuated like my lack of self esteem. So it like, yeah, I wouldn't go up to girls. I wouldn't try to approach them because I think, hey, dog, what do they want? Why would I? What would they want from me? So I wouldn't, and I didn't for a long period of time. And I mean, my friends would make fun of me for it, and they said you have no game and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And I mean, hey, it was because of that fear of approaching girls and them not thinking like, why this guy? And like, girls say, no, we don't care about those things. We don't. Come on, really? We all care. We all care about the physical as much as we say that we care about the mental. Like, I also try to go for. This is what's funny. Big girls would come to me and I would miss. Me being big, I said no to big. Like, you see the contradictions there. So that's what like, obviously, because again, like I tell you, my mental confidence is still high, so I still hold myself to a certain regard. So obviously, I'm not gonna, if I don't find a girl attractive, I'm not gonna try. So it became the thing of I don't find a girl attractive. And so the ones I don't find attractive are trying to get with me. And the ones I find attractive, I don't think are attracted to me. So it just became the thing. And that was basically my first year. And so that happened the whole of first year, and I studied and all this and all this and all this. And then one thing remained constant the whole thing is that I kept playing basketball. I kept playing until go to the end of the year. And then someone asked me, yo, why don't you play for the university team? I was like, me play for the university team? Man, I'm not athletic. I can't dunk. I can't do any of that. So why am I going to do that? I just play socially because I enjoy it to release my stress, you know? So, okay, cool. It get to the end of the year, and I had made some friends, like some really good basketball friends. If any of them are watching, I love you guys. And I got to the end, and I saw one of the current coach. Now back then he was the assistant coach. He saw me play, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you try out for the team?" I was like, "Me?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't know, but okay, sure, why not?" What I would do is that I'd think about, like, you have this craving now, you break your challenge, you're not going to achieve what you want. Yeah, it was tight. It was tight for the whole. That I may have had commitment issues in the past, but I could commit to this, and I didn't let something, make me cheat. So